TikTok has apologised and is investigating after several black content creators say they were denied red carpet access at the TikTok Awards on Wednesday night. Several creators claim they were told their photos weren't needed while other guests were ushered through without issue. In footage captured by one content creator, a photographer can be heard telling her, "We don't need your photo," before directing her away.
But this has nothing to do with you. We don't need your photo. We're not, like, they're not gonna, what are they gonna do with your photo?
Wow.
No, it's not gonna go anywhere.
That's crazy.
It's not gonna go
That
anywhere.
is rude as
No,
possible.
but I'm saying they're working
Yeah,
for the
but
press.
that's so sorry.
Yeah, but it's not our fault that we're given the wrong information.
That is rude as what did he say? Oh, what do we need your photo for? It's not going anywhere.
What?
Okay.
So we're kind of like, whoa. And we know what he meant by that.
In an exclusive statement to Backcover News, TikTok says extreme weather forced last-minute changes and reduced space on the red carpet, but creators say the treatment went far beyond logistics.
This is for all the media.
Well, that's not our fault. That's the information.
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with you. We don't need your photo. We're not, like, they're not gonna, what are they gonna do with your photo?
Wow.
No, it's not gonna go anywhere.
That's crazy.
It's not gonna go
That is
anywhere.
rude as
No,
possible.
but I'm saying they're working
Yeah,
for the
but
press.
Guys, so sorry.
I will no longer be attending the TikTok Awards because I'm tired of being treated like this. This is a TikTok staff member saying, "We don't need your photo." What are they going to do with your photo? It's not gonna go anywhere. Now, I'm assuming when he says we, because he works for TikTok Australia, he's saying TikTok Australia doesn't need our photos. So why are we here? Why are you inviting creators if this is a celebrity event? If that's what you're wanting, then say that. If you're inviting creators to be seat fillers, fill up your audience so that when the TV network plays your event, that they see that there's so many people there, then let the creators know that they're being invited as audience members and not as content creators. Don't go treating people like shit and then prioritizing whoever you choose over other creators. Every year that I've been to the awards, they always have two separate carpets. They have a media wall, which you can kind of just get in fast, get your photo, and then they have another one where you can get interviews. They'll usually have people interviewing content creators. That's how last year the whole "is being an influencer hard" video went viral. That's the interviews they do. I've spoken to other creators about how they get to that interview stage because me personally, I've always just stayed in the background and I've never felt that I could go to the media walls because, to be honest, in Australia, like, black content creators, they don't know us like that. This year, I thought I've been in the background. The last 3 years I've attended, I might as well just try to do an interview. I might as well just try to be more involved with the press side of things, you know? Because again, one of the biggest things that we struggle with as black creators is being seen in Australian media. When you see these articles about TikTok content creators, you're rarely seeing the black content creators because we're not going to do these interviews at the events. We're not going to speak to press. We're not being seen on these articles as Australian TikTok content creators. In fact, the biggest question I get... I was going to say the most common thing you guys say to me when you meet me in real life is this: "I didn't know that you're from Australia. I thought you were from the UK, or I thought you lived in the US." And why do they think that? Because they don't see us in Australian media. How this whole thing happened is we heard that there's a media wall upstairs. We went upstairs. Again, there's no security that's like stopping you. It's not barred off or anything. We line up, get to the front, and one of the, I guess, staff members was like, "Oh, are you a nominee or a presenter?" And I was like, "No, we're just content creators." And then she goes, "Oh, sorry, they're only wanting to interview nominees and presenters." I was just kind of like, oh, because I saw someone that I'm mutuals with, they're doing an interview. They weren't a nominee. They weren't a presenter. They were, like me, a content creator that was invited to attend. It was just a bit like, oh. But anyways, the lady goes, "But if you guys want to take photos, you can just go over there." She points at the wall where there's the photographers, and she's like, "I can guide you guys there, but if you just want your photo taken, you can go there." So we went to line up in that section because we're like, oh, okay, if the press don't want to do interviews with creators this year, let's go take a photo. The photographer that was there, he was kind of like, "You're not supposed to enter from this way," like the way where we were. And we just told him, oh, we were told to come here. And I guess he was a bit confused, but he just continued taking photos anyways. And then everyone else from the media, like that were doing interviews, they were coming through. So there's a photographer was taking their photos. So we're just standing there and waiting. This man approached with so much aggression. The thing is, it wasn't only us in the line. There was other people behind us, and he came directly to us. Like, he was speaking directly to us when he said that.
Family, welcome back to Ukestria Commentaries. This is your host Rafiki, and I hope you are doing super fine and great whenever you are watching this episode from. Now, the TikTok Australian Award or TikTok Awards Australia is facing a lot of criticism and backlash from the houses about a viral video that a fellow content creator, a nominated content creator, recorded her experience at the TikTok Awards Australia and posted it online. And apparently this video went viral, and people are literally talking about it. In that video, we can clearly see she is a black content creator, and also some of the nominees are sharing the same stories, and these nominees are black. So apparently this photographer is telling these ladies, you know what, get out of the red carpet. We don't want your pictures. We don't need your pictures. And even if we take your pictures, where are we going to take them? We don't need them. So this has sparkled a lot of reactions and outrage among the Australian, and houses are saying, is this how these people treat black content creators at all the awards? And apparently right now TikTok Australia is on fire, and houses are literally talking about it. But before we react on to this, let's watch the whole story. Let's watch the whole narrative from both the three creators and their experience. Then we shall be sharing our own opinions at the end of this video.
Good morning, guys. So the TikTok Awards was yesterday. It was very overwhelming, to say the least. It was very overwhelming, but also something happened that kind of like I'm still trying to process it right now. I'm not like, I like speaking up, but I feel like in that situation it was just so overwhelming. I didn't want to be around. So basically there was like media. There was like a pink carpet, red carpet or whatever. And me and this other creator, she's also a person of color, we went on the carpet to get our photos taken because, as we should, we got nominated. What the hell? We went on, and I kid you not, there was like, I think 4 photographers, and there was this photographer that was wearing a blue cap, and I got on, and literally he didn't take a photo. And then how it's supposed to work is like, we're all supposed to like just kind of rotate, like, so you get your photos taken, then you talk to media, and then you get off the carpet. But like, this guy literally didn't take any photos, and then he was telling me to get off. And I was like, but I thought I was supposed to go and then now do the media, like do interviews. And obviously I don't know what's going on, so I just got off. But it was just so embarrassing because I'm like, what do you mean you didn't take any photos, and you literally just shuffled me off stage? And then I've seen him take lots of photos of other people. And then the other content creator, she went and told, I think she went and told one of the workers at TikTok, and then I think they went and told him. So then he was literally marching at me, and I was like, oh my goodness, like the way he was coming at me, it was not like, oh, I'm so sorry, like.
Well, that's not our fault. That's the information.
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with you. We don't need your photo. We're not, like,
I attended the TikTok Awards the other night as a +1, supporting my friend Kermama, who is a bigger creator. She has over 200,000 followers. This is us, for reference, and we experienced exactly the same thing. We were in the massive line to go on the red carpet for a while, not too long. We didn't wait too long until people in front of us were saying, oh, actually, there's another space you go to for just photos only. And we followed these people and we joined the line to go to the end of the carpet for the photos only section. I want to say there was at least 10 people that went through in front of us that all got photos taken by photographers on the red carpet. And I was behind Kermama as we were entering the red carpet, and as Kermama went, and it was our turn to go on, as Kermama As I said, I was behind her, entered the red carpet, we copped the same thing. Man came out of nowhere, screaming really loudly, and I felt quite aggressively, saying things like, you shouldn't be here, the photos are going to get blocked, I'm going to block your photos, they're not going to go anywhere, there's no point, what are you doing here? At the time, we just thought it was just a one-off thing, and we thought maybe it was just us that had experienced it, until we have seen many videos come out, and it's all been women of colour who have all experienced the same thing. As I stipulated, Kerr Mama was in front of me, and she was the one that was entering the line and going on the red carpet before me, so another woman of colour. A couple that were in front of us that got their photos taken on the red carpet felt really uncomfortable about the whole situation and felt so bad about how we were treated that they took this photo for us. A lot of people are trying to say that the reason why this whole thing happened is because they were only interviewing those that were nominated or were presenters. But I have videos where you can see the red carpet and it's packed like sardines, and not every single person on there was a nominee or a presenter. Let's not forget, we know that Ames and Indy Clinton were on the red carpet, and they are women that look like me, and neither of them were presenters or nominees. This is totally disregarding the fact that Florence, who was a nominee, was treated exactly the same, and she is a woman of colour. Here's the red carpet in question. It's tiny, it's packed like sardines, it's full of people who aren't nominees or presenters, and even someone dressed like a Labubu, again, not a nominee or a presenter. Something else I want to discuss is I was really disappointed in the lack of accessibility in the building. I noticed once we were inside, there wasn't really an option if you were a wheelchair user to be down by the stage or to even get on the stage. Dylan Alcott was interviewed as part of the event, and I noticed that Sophie Monk had to go up the stairs to be onto like the ground level, I suppose, of the venue, so that she could actually interview him, as he had no access to the stage or nearabouts. I'm also just going to reiterate what everyone else has said, and I'm going to tag the creators that have come forward and spoken about this. But if they want 8,000 seat fillers, then stipulate that they want 8,000 seat fillers. Don't invite creators along, and I was just a +1, but don't invite creators along to feel like they were a part of the event when they were just the background.
What's going on with the TikTok Awards? So this is our main character, Niel. She's a beauty influencer who went to the TikTok Awards hoping to actually be involved rather than just sitting in the audience. Now, on awards day, it was extremely hot, so the layout had to be shifted to cater for thousands of creators. They shoved everyone inside, and a lot of people felt overwhelmed, and it was very crowded. Now, there were 2 media walls. One was upstairs, where you can get interviewed and photographed by traditional media, and a second was downstairs, where creators can take personal photos in front of the TikTok Awards backdrop. Now, the girls went upstairs to the media red carpet to be involved and to get interviews, but things felt a bit off and overwhelming. Then things get strange. TikTok staff told Niel that only nominees and presenters were allowed to walk that red carpet, which she thought was a bit unusual, as she saw creators who were neither nominees or presenters getting interviewed and photographed. So she gets told that if she wants, she can get a photograph taken, but just to stand at a different location. So they walked over there, and a staff member told them just to go and stand in that line. She said that while she was in that line, a photographer questioned why they were standing there, and she explained that the group just got told to stand here to get their photo taken. So that section was filled with photographers from all different media outlets. And she was waiting in line with like a plethora of other creators wanting the same thing. And another TikTok staff member called Jack only came up to her group telling them that their photo was not needed.
If you just want to get your photo taken for yourself, go downstairs. Yeah, but this is for all the media.
Well, that's not our fault. That's the information.
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with you. We don't need your photo. We're not, like, they're not gonna. What are they gonna do with your photo?
Wow.
No, it's not gonna go anywhere.
That's
But
crazy.
it's not gonna go
That
anywhere.
is rude as fuck.
No, but I'm saying they're working for the press.
So sorry.
Yeah, but it's not our fault that we're given the wrong information.
Her and her friends were taken back by the rudeness, but they gave Jack the benefit of the doubt, as it wasn't his fault that they got told to stand there. But how he went about it was the wrong thing. And once he found out that Maxi, another creator, was filming the whole interaction, Jack went back to them to do damage control. So they are now standing on the sidelines, and they watched other creators getting photographed and interviewed while multiple black creators were turned away. Then things get stranger. One of those creators was Florence. She's a beauty creator, and she was nominated for an award in the beauty category. And while a lot of people were invited or asked to go, she was actually flown like much of the other nominees. So I would count her as a VIP. She shares that a photographer from the Daily Telegraph refused to take her photo until another creator stepped in, who told a staff member, who then spoke to the photographer, and then they proceeded to go up to Florence and scream at her.
No story, no nothing. So she says that she never got a photo. She felt humiliated and horrible, but she did get an interview by this lady. This is Katie. She works for Channel 7 Sunrise, and she was on that media carpet, and she shares the media perspective. Now, she explains all the things that went wrong with the media carpet that night. The weather, the setup. She explains that the carpet is for media, not actually for the creators, and how photographers and journalists work while they're on the carpet. She says it's not for every creator, and a lot of creators who were either not requested or not nominated or not presenters walked that carpet, which caused a lot of frustration for the photographers and journalists, as they only have a short time to get what they need. She says some creators will be requested for a photo and interview, and other times it's just a photo or just an interview. She says egos were bruised, but no one deserves to be spoken to in a rude manner. However, unfortunately, red carpets with traditional media are just rude. TikTok has apologized, but Maxi has said she has not yet received a personal apology. And until the girls come out saying that they have, to me, the computer says no.
The treatment that black content creators received at the TikTok Awards Australia is literally indicative of how black people are treated in this country every single day. For further context and video proof, please go watch Nielle's video. She's spoken about her whole experience. Going to the only 2 black people standing in a line full of content creators waiting for their photo to be taken and essentially berating them on why they're there. Mind you, they were directed to be there, right? And then essentially telling them that even if the photographers take your photo, where is it gonna go? Nowhere. Essentially telling them that no one cares about them, right? And then once you realize you're being recorded, and this is a TikTok Australia employee, mind you, you now change the tune and try and spin the story and be like, oh, you know, I wasn't meaning to be rude. Oh, it's not actually me. It's actually the photographers that are gonna be really angry at us. Oh, blah, blah, blah. That is literally the playbook of racism in this country. Before you say it's only one person who exhibited that racism, I know many small black content creators that were invited to the TikTok Awards that were treated in a similar manner. I've seen a lot of people who have heard the story and they're acting shocked, being like, oh my God, I can't believe TikTok Australia would do that. Why are you shocked? The way that they were all treated is literally exactly how racism goes, especially when it comes towards black people who are African or black people who are indigenous. People will be racist towards you, whether actively or passively, right? The moment you speak up about it, they realize they're being recorded, you post it somewhere, whatever it may be. People are now flooding with all the excuses. It's always trying to change the story of, oh, that's not what I really meant. Oh, it really didn't happen that way. Or you're always crying victim. Or you're always claiming everything to be racism. Or, you know, that was actually just a normal thing to say. It's actually not racism, blah, blah, blah. And then people come and tell you, oh, it's only a one-off incident. Oh, you know, it's only a few number of Australians that are racist. The rest of them are actually quite loving and normal people. That's not true. Do you know why you think that? Because one, you're not on the receiving end of that racism. I live in Far North Queensland. Trust me when I say I have had some things said and done to me that when I tell people the stories, they think I'm making it up. They think it must have, no, it can't happen in Australia. It must be an American thing or something of that sort. And it's not just me. It's so many people that I know. Even in bigger cities, Melbourne, Sydney, it doesn't matter. 2, it's because so many forms of racism have been normalized in Australia to the point that when people think of racism in Australia, they only want to see the massive extreme examples of racism, like examples that lead up to the loss of life. And even then, they will still try and argue with you and gaslight you on top of that. That is literally what happens in this country, and it's actually quite disgusting behavior.
This has nothing to do with you. We don't need your photos. Yet you're saying this to Australian TikTok creators who the event was created for. Huh? So the TikTok Awards happened yesterday here in Australia, and let's just say it was not it. If you haven't seen Nielle's video yet, or the other girl stories, Zoe, Maxine's, the way some pop creators were treated on yesterday's carpet alone was absolutely disgusting. But long story short, a couple of ethnic pop creators, women of color creators, were told that they were pretty much not good enough to get their pictures taken on the red carpet at yesterday's TikTok Awards and made to feel less than who they are. Now, it's one thing to say that the carpet was for nominees and media when y'all couldn't even recognize your own nominees and even told those nominees to get off the carpet and that you didn't want to take a picture of them. Which is really funny to me because I was not nominated, nor am I media, but I walked the carpet. I got my pictures taken and you all smiled in my face.
You all moved me to the line. I got my pictures taken. So why was my fellow creators that looked like me? The reason why I started this platform, to speak up for people that looked like me, people that constantly got demonized for being who they are, for their skin color, for their culture, for their religion, treated so poorly. At the end of the day as well, even if the carpet was for nominees and media only, guys, it does not give anybody any right to talk to a human, to talk to a young adult the way that person spoke to the girls at the time, or any other creator that was turned down from that carpet. And it really leaves us asking, why even invite us in those rooms? Why have us in those spaces if we're just gonna be told, you're not good enough? We don't want you. Because that's pretty much what was said yesterday. At the end of the day, we're also creators. Australian creators, for that matter. And it's just really, really disheartening because next TikTok award, I'm good. I'm gonna be at home. And while we're at the topic of pictures not being seen, you might as well delete mine while you're at it.
So those are the whole stories from these fellow creators, and apparently TikTok Australia has released an apology, but they've turned off their comments so that people cannot comment. And apparently, I personally think this was totally wrong, because saying such things to black content creators who were officially invited by TikTok Australia, who are also nominees, was totally wrong. And black content creators in Australia are saying TikTok Australia filters their content, does not push their content to reach the houses. The Australians don't see this TikTok. Even myself, I can't see much about black folks in Australia, even if I tried to search more about them on TikTok. I don't know why Australia TikTok is filtering their video. But anyway, this was totally wrong according to the houses. And we can't say every Australia was racist, because we also saw some white Australia saying this is totally wrong. You can't be doing that. What did you just say? They are also calling out these photographers who told these black fellow creators, get out of the red carpet. We don't need your photographs. What do you want us to do with them? Yeah. And apparently, if you know that you are a racist, you should avoid practicing that in the public, because apparently this lady was just giving her friend her phone and telling her, I'm going to take the pictures for the red carpet. Please record while I take the pictures. And apparently this photographer, out of nowhere, he didn't even realize that the camera was rolling. He just said, get out of the red carpet. You don't need your photographs here. What do you want us to take them? And they were like, wait a minute, you don't want to take our photographs, and you are the ones who have invited us. So this is total racism. You are being racist in black creators, because you are not telling the same things you are telling us to white creators who are also nominees. Yeah, white creators who are in solidarity with these black women who are creators are saying yes, they witnessed that, and they are confessing that photographer did that, and the evidence is on every social media platform, on TikTok, with these ladies confessing that this apparently happened. But here's my take: if you don't want to associate yourselves with black people, don't invite them to such events. If you think you are a racist, I mean, there were many people or many photographers who could have done the same job. So why go where black people are if you don't really like them? This is just racism. We can't sugarcoat anything. And there is no, even on TikTok awards, you are practicing racism. I mean, this is so diabolic. But you do guys tell me what you think about this in the comment section. We are so sorry for these ladies. They had to go through that. But unfortunately, they've said, this is our last TikTok awards. We can't attend it even if we are invited. We are waiting to see if TikTok Australia will issue an apology or not. But in the meantime, those was just the update. Subscribe this channel and see you in the next.